How's it going, everyone? I'm Marky coming back at you once again. And today we're going to be discussing The World of Flashpoint featuring Wonder Woman, written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, with art by Scott Clark and David Beatty? Let's get into it. Wonder Woman, she leaves Themyscira Island, and while she's sailing away, she gets attacked and poisoned by a kraken, only to be saved by Aquaman and taken to Atlantis so she can be treated for her wounds. While there, they form a relationship, and over time, they decide to get married so that they can reveal both the nations of Themyscira and Atlantis to the world at large together and show like a union of strength or whatever. However, betrayals on both sides dooms the union, and the marriage never takes place. And it sets the two great armies on a collision course that will end up, destroying the world. Second story arc contained in this volume is Emperor Aquaman, written by Tony Bedard, with art by Ardian Syaf and Vicente Cifuentes. And this story just fills in more details from the Wonder Woman story, although from Aquaman's perspective. So they both really sort of marry together well, story-wise, not in the books. They don't get married, but if you read one, you might as well read the other, and it gives you more of the whole picture, essentially. But I will say the story is disappointing. I didn't like it. The next story contained in this volume is Lois Lane and the Resistance, written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning again, with art by Eddie Nunez and Sandra Hope. Lois Lane, she's in France covering some fashion show when Aquaman ends up sinking sinking Europe, France in particular. So Lois Lane, she's rescued by the Amazons because she's a woman. And she gets taken to New Themyscira, which of course we all know is a former United Kingdom. And she gets put into a camp where they try to brainwash women into becoming, Amazons. She ends up escaping the Amazon encampment with the help of technology from Cyborg, and she meets up with Grifter and the Resistance. And so the Resistance, attacks New Themyscira, trying to take out Wonder Woman. And Lois Lane, she gets to like a broadcasting station, and she broadcasts what's really going on in New Themyscira with the experiments and the internment camps and all this stuff until her final breath, because she gets taken out by one of the Furies. The next story is The Outsider, written by James Robinson, with art by Javi Fernandez. The Outsider is an Indian-born monstrosity who not only kills his mother at birth, but he ends up taking out the whole of his birth city, somehow just by the very act of being born, and he was left as a little baby in the center of this crater. And the Outsider, he's a criminal mastermind who values information and profits above all. And in this story, we get to see his rise to where he is in the world of Flashpoint, to where he's being considered to by Cyborg and Batman to be part of the team that goes to take on Wonder Woman and Aquaman at the end of Flashpoint. So this is his origin story. As far as my likes and dislikes about this volume, like I alluded to earlier, I really felt the Wonder Woman and Aquaman, that whole backstory that sort of sets the backdrop for Flashpoint, that was so interesting in the main book. Here I feel like the ball is dropped. It's not as interesting as it was made out to be. Everything happens so quick in the span of a year, from when they meet to when the wedding was supposed to take place. And of course the betrayal where I guess Ocean Master or whatever is dating Wonder Woman's aunt behind the scenes, and they orchestrate this whole thing where at the wedding Garth is framed for throwing a spear that was meant to hit Diana but ended up killing her mother or something. That sets up to Atlantis and Themyscira at war with one another, and Themyscira sinks their own island in an attempt to take out the Atlanteans, but it doesn't work, so they go on to claim the UK and make it New Themyscira. And the Amazons are really villains in the story, but of course it's Aquaman who goes to the great lengths to start sinking continents. He sinks all of Western Europe. He's gonna sink the UK as well. He sinks most of it except for the island of New Themyscira, which was raised up on a pillar of Earth. But of course, by the time Flashpoint's going on, he's going to sink that too. And, Barry Allen, he runs back in time and whatever, New 52. But, like, that whole story, like, it's 6 issues. We could have had a great 6-issue epic, but instead we get, like, 2-3 issue stories from different perspectives, revealing, like, different parts of the story. Sort of randomly, it jumps back and forth. Oh, this happened 8 months ago. This is 6 months in the past or whatever. So it's like, whatever. Like I said, we could have had a great 6-issue standalone Elseworld story, but instead we got these 2-3-parters. Didn't really do it for me. Lois Lane and the Resistance. I like Lois Lane and Superman characters and stuff, but this story, didn't really care for it. I thought it was cool at the end how she broadcasted until the end. Gave her life, getting the truth out there, spreading the truth of the horrors that's really going on by the Amazons in New Themyscira. So I felt like there was a great character moment for her. Jimmy Olsen died early. She died here at the end. I guess this is what they would get up to without a Superman, without Clark Kent in their lives, huh? But the story is overall kind of forgettable. It introduces us, to the Resistance. We'll get like a brief couple panel or pages of the main Flashpoint book. Grifter and Godiva and Canterbury Cricket, all these characters. I'm not really familiar with them, so this was like my introduction to them. They got balls. They take on the Furies, no problem. Actually win a couple of battles. But overall, just kind of a fluff story. The real highlight of this volume is The Outsider by James Robinson. I like James Robinson, his writing. He's a creator that I know. I know his name. So when I see his name in a book, even if it's something like Cry for Justice, which got a lot of heat back in the day, I still found something to enjoy about it, right? He's not afraid to, push the envelope. So, this story, The Outsider, mysterious character, I believe is brand new, created for the Flashpoint world. We see him taking on the likes of Black Adam and, Martian Manhunter here in this story. I don't really know what his power is. I guess he just can't die. He got like skin made of stone or something. But like when he kills people, he's like using guns and swords, so he doesn't seem to have like super strength, and he can't fly. He's always taking vehicles like trains and stuff. But it just really shows his scheming way, how he rose up from being like this birth monstrosity or whatever that killed his mother during childbirth, took out his whole village, to how he became like one of the #1 crime lords and most powerful people on the planet. Which is why, again, like Cyborg tried to recruit him. They're like, hey, we need all the help we could get to take out Wonder Woman and Aquaman. And of course, Outsider didn't want nothing to do with it. But, like I said, it's the highlight of the book. Worth reading by itself. Like, if you don't want to buy the volume, you want to collect those issues, go for it. But yeah, I would say this volume overall, in my opinion, it was kind of weaker. Like I said, the Wonder Woman and Emperor Aquaman stories let me down. Outsider being the highlight here. So I'll go ahead and give World of Flashpoint, featuring Wonder Woman, a 3 out of 5. That's just the way it goes sometimes, huh? Not all tie-ins are created equal. Half the time they're just cash grabs. So here we go. Tie-ins with variable quality. Until next time, I'll see you there.